Hello, everybody. Let's see, we got Grandma Teresa, Wilson Todd, Shatika. Good day to y'all. Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing today? And there's Sheila. Hello, Sheila. And Susan. I'm doing great. It's been too hot to get outside and do anything, so I've been in the house all day, basically. I've been working on one of my security cameras because it went offline just like a day or so ago. So I had to take that down, and I've been working on it. And there's Deborah Wilson. Hello. Happy Sunday to you as well. And there's Joanne. Hello, Joanne. Yeah, I've been working on my camera because it went offline for some reason. Sometimes if the electricity goes out and comes back on, it doesn't go back online, that one particular one. And then sometimes it gets overloaded with the internet and it'll throw it offline because that's one of my older cameras. But I've got another new one coming that I'm going to put up probably this afternoon. Laid out your pills for the week, Susan? I haven't done my dishes yet. I've got a sink full of dirty dishes over there. But I usually keep them washed up, so I figure I'm entitled to one day letting them go for half a day before I wash them. Oh, you got to check your mail. Well, you notice I'm on StreamYard, and the link is up at the top of the chat. If anybody wants to get on screen with me, you're welcome to copy that link or whatever you need to do to put it in the browser and get online with me. 114 where you're at? Oh my God, Sheila. I'm not sure what the temperature is here right now. Let me check. But it was cool yesterday. It felt so good after we got that unexpected rain and it cooled temperatures down for yesterday. But they're back up today, I'll tell you. It's 95 right now. And I think it's going to be back in the triple digits like tomorrow and the next day. Let's see what they say. Today, 96 is the high. Tomorrow, 97. Tuesday, 101. Wednesday, 104. Thursday, 105. So it's going to be in the triple digits for over a week coming up, starting tomorrow. So that's not going to be fun. It is not going to be fun at all. But this is August, so we can't expect any better. We got Deborah Willis, Rebecca Bourne, Connie Jones. Hello, Connie. Yeah, that's one of the older cameras. So sometimes I think it might overheat because it's in the sun and it does not stay online every time. Because I've had to take it down before and work on it and get it back online. And this time I've decided basically to put up a new camera. Oh my goodness, Connie, you're being plumber today. No wonder you got a wrench working with me. Be working on the kitchen sink, replacing a pipe. Oh my. Well, that's the only way to do it. You save that large plumber bill, unless you can get your a better half to get in there and do it. But like I said, the StreamYard link is up at the top of the live chat. So if anybody wants to get on screen with me, you're more than welcome to. Just copy the link, put it in your browser, and come on in the studio, and I'll let you on board. There's Rebecca Bourne. Hello. Rebecca says, well, do live with that 114 heat, Sheila. Only trouble is with 114 degrees, you don't want to be outside unless you're sitting in front of a fan under a shade tree. Well, it doesn't matter. It's a long story, but it's just an unexpected person that showed up at my door trying to cause problems. Just leave it at that. She's one of those neighbors you can say is a backstabber, troublemaker. That's exactly right, Sheila. Just stay inside and avoid the outdoors as much as possible when it's 114. I mean, I was outside just for a few minutes a little while ago getting stuff off my porch, and it was getting pretty hot, even at 95 degrees. Meant well, do you lie? Do you live? Do you live? Hi, Wilson. Where do you live? Is that what you're asking, Rebecca? Yeah, very high. Mine was 200 last month, but it's going to be even more this month. It'll probably hit 300 this month because that AC has been running, my central air has been running almost nonstop. There's Kevin Ward. Hi, Kevin. How's Kevin doing today? You going to plant your seeds tomorrow? Well, good. And there's Gladys. Hello, Gladys. Yes, we missed you. Life with Pippin. Hello, how are you today? Good, okay, great. Just dealing with the heat here in Texas, that's all. My poor plants are struggling, and they'll be struggling all this week. You only use central air at night? Well, I would do that too, but it gets so hot here you can't stay in the house during the day. Because in these mobile homes, it gets about 20 degrees hotter inside than it is outside. So the summer that my AC was out completely all summer, and that was after my kids had already grown and left home. I was here alone. It was so hot you could not stay in this house during the day. So I stayed outside as much as possible. because it was cooler outside under the shade than it was in the house. And at night, I couldn't sleep. And finally, I figured out if I took a towel, like a hand towel, and wrapped an ice pack up in it, laid it on the back of my neck, and laid on the pillow, I could go to sleep because that ice pack would cool me off. I'd fall asleep, and it kept me cool until things started cooling down in the house because it cools off here at night usually. And then by the time I started getting hot again, it was already time to get up and get about, you know. Yeah, I don't ever want to spend another summer in Texas with no AC. I feel so bad for people that have to deal with that. Yeah, but you're probably a lot cooler than we are here, Joanne. And there's Paula. Hello, Paula. Yeah, I mean, it's just so hot you can't bear it. I'd lay in the bed and I'd try to go to sleep. I couldn't. I was sweating so bad. Everything in the bed was wet from sweat. My pillow was wet. So finally, one evening, I got a ice pack, wrapped it in a towel, put it on my neck, just trying to cool off. And I went back to bed and laid down on the ice pack. I fell right asleep because it cooled me down. And I stayed cool all night until I got up the next morning. So after that, every night I'd take an ice pack to bed with me, lay it on the back of my neck, and lay on it. No, you can't live in Arizona either without central air. You'll die from heat stroke. Yep. Same way here in Texas. A lot of people that when it gets so hot, they just go down to the lake. They stay at the lake. That's why the city beach is so packed in the summer. The whole lake is packed in the summer because everybody's down on the water trying to stay cool. Oh no. Joanne, if he got hot enough, he'd turn it on. What is your temperature during the day, Joanne? Yeah, in the south you got a lot of humidity. Like right now we might have a little bit of humidity in the air, but not much because it gets so hot for so many days, there's no humidity out there at all. And you can get heat stroke real fast because you don't notice. Sometimes it can be 100 degrees or 102 degrees, and you don't realize it until all of a sudden you've overheated. Yeah, you get a temperature of 100 with a heat index of 110. Your cousin just moved from Tucson to Indiana. He probably wanted to get where it was a little bit cooler. 91 now, 95 usually. Well, yeah, you know, in North Carolina, when I was growing up, living at home, it got 91, 92 degrees. That was a heat wave. 95, that was, oh, that was just unbearable heat for North Carolina because it never usually got in the triple digits there. It's the humidity that really got you. So when I came out here and first summer I stayed in Texas and the temperature hit 100 degrees, it's like, oh my God, we're all going to cook. I've learned how to deal with it, you know, just stay inside the hottest time of the day, get out, stay out of the sun. I love going out on the lake in a boat, but it's really too hot to be out there in the open lake in the sun. You get in the water to cool off, and that's fine, but then you get sunburnt. And when you get home, that's twice as bad as just being hot. There's Wilson. He says he's back. Yeah, that heat's unbearable out here. I found a quote for today. Let's see if I can bring it back up. It's a quote about dreams. It says, "You're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream." And that's true, you know. Just because you get on up in years doesn't mean you can't dream of something better tomorrow, or, have some kind of goal set. Because right below it, it says your attitude. It says attitude is the little thing that makes a big difference. If you give up before you try, you're never going to get anything done. You're never going to win. You're never going to succeed. You have to at least try, and you might surprise yourself. It's a swamp, yeah. High humidity in winter. And see, right along the coast where I'm from, that little town Atkinson, it's all lowlands. So it stays real moist there. You don't really usually have to water anything. There's usually plenty of rain coming in off and on throughout the week, and the ground already stays damp. It holds the water. So it's not actually a swamp, but it's considered lowlands, which is right next to the swamp. Yep, stay inside out of the heat. Yeah, in the West, they use swamp coolers to put water back into the air. Well, here I know a lot of people use humidifiers because the air gets so dry. Yeah, Gladys, did you get your pancakes yet? You mean I have no one that wants to get on camera with me? She said, Connie, I did. I bet they were good. I've been thinking about fixing pancakes. I haven't had pancakes in a while. Yeah, thumbs up, y'all. I've got 36 watching, but I can't tell really how many thumbs up there is. And there's April. Hello, April. How's April doing today? Some of you copy the link and get on screen with me. I hear that truck that goes by just about every afternoon about this time, and it sounds like an ice cream truck, but I don't think it is. It's somebody's construction business, and I guess that's the way they advertise their construction jobs. Connie says, glad it's cool. I had pancakes too. I put peanut butter and jelly on them. I bet that was good. I've never put peanut butter and jelly on my pancakes before. Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day here. It's just hot. And like I was telling everybody else a few minutes ago, it's going to be triple digits and above all this next coming week. And we got a little bit of rain night before last, and we weren't supposed to get any, but it rained off and on throughout the whole night. And the next day it was cooler. I mean, I think the high was like 91, 92, which seemed great from what it had been. But today, no, it's back up to like 95, 96, and tomorrow it's going to hit 100. And there's Karen Meyer. Hello, Karen. And there's Terry and YT Cat Whitley. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, we could use more rain today. It's been so hot and dry yesterday, and it's been so hot today. It wouldn't hurt if we got more rain. And, the poor plants don't know what to do. It rains, it cools off one day. The next day, it's triple digits again. And the poor plants were just absorbing a little bit of water and reviving themselves when they get hit with that heat again. Oh, I bet, April. Trade wind showers. I bet that is beautiful. It cools the temperature down a little. 105 where Rebecca is. Yeah, it's going to be like that this coming week. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not. Your first peaceful day in about a week. Oh, okay. YT is YouTube Cat Whitley. Well, I'll try to remember that. Makes big rainbows. I bet that's beautiful, April. Yeah, I don't need the storm, but I could use some tropical showers. My plants would love it this afternoon. I don't know what's wrong with people, and I probably shouldn't say anything about it, but I'm sure some of you have experienced the same thing. You got neighbors that you try to be friends with, and you can't be friends with them because they go behind your back, they get in a group, they sit down, and all they do is run their mouth. You're doing this and you're doing that, and what they think you're doing and what they think you're not doing, and they don't know what you're doing. It just irritates me so bad. I figured when I went live and went to putting YouTube videos out, people would kind of get a grip about all that gossip. I'm showing them what I do day to day. I'm showing them what I'm doing inside. You know, they're still not satisfied. They still got to go yak, 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 and they don't know what they're talking about. That's what that picture's all about. I'm not going to go into details, but I'm sure all of y'all have experienced that. I've tried to be friends, but you can't. They won't let you because they're either jealous of what you got, or what you're doing, or what they think you're doing, or what they think you're not doing. It's unreal, really. Yep, there's Rebecca Bourne. She's a loyal member. Welcome, Rebecca. Appreciate you being a loyal member. And I said I wasn't going to mention it at all, but yeah, I'm sure y'all have experienced situations like that. I mean, I've done whatever I could do to try to be friends, and I don't complain about my neighbors. I don't do stuff like that. I believe in live and let live. The only one time I went to one of our association meetings and complained about anything was when I went down to the point one day, thought I was going to go fishing, and there was so much dog shit down there you couldn't even walk across the grass. I did complain about that. I didn't know who was responsible. I wasn't complaining about any one person. I just said that it was disgusting and it needed to be cleaned up, and people needed to stop letting their dogs use the point for a bathroom. Well, where is Wilson? I just invited him on stage, but I don't see him. Yeah, they're called drama queens, Sheila. Love to spread false information about people. They strive on that stuff. Sorry you are dealing with that. Yeah. Yeah, I had made up my mind I wasn't going to mention it at all, but she did ask me about the picture. So she had seen the picture. Evidently, she's on Facebook. But it hurts me because, I've not done anything to any of my neighbors. I don't complain about my neighbors. I let them live their life. They can do whatever they want in their yard. I don't care. It's none of my business. And I think they should do me the same. Just stay out of my business. Leave me alone. I get out there sometimes late in the evening because it's cooler to mow. And I'm waking babies up because I'm running my loud lawnmower in the evening before dark. Well, there's no rules and regulations on the times you can and cannot run a lawnmower. So whenever I feel the time and temperature is right for me that I can get out there and deal with the heat and my yard needs to be mowed, I'm going to mow. Oh no, Nakomi, you're from Germany and it's 20, 10:25 p.m. and I have to get up at 5:30. Well, I'm going to have to start having some lives earlier than 3 o'clock for people like Nakomia that live in Germany and it's already past their bedtime. I know that, but evidently she thought, a lot of people, I don't know who thought, evidently a lot of people thought it was okay to take them down there and let their dogs do their business on the grass at the point where everybody used to fish, because there's a parking area and then there's a white picket fence that you can go through. And people used to go out there on that point and sit and fish. And I did too. My whole family did when I was still married. And a lot of other people did. But then it got to the point where you couldn't even walk through there because it was so much crap all over the grass. You could not walk through it without stepping in it. Now that's pretty bad. And evidently they did get it cleaned up because last time I went down there, it was clean. You could walk over the grass and there was no dog crap. But you're right. Yeah, even in the dog parks, they have a ordinance that you got to pick up behind your animal. You can't let them just devastate on the ground in the grass and leave it there. If you do and get caught, you're going to be fined probably about $200. I'm not sure what the fine is. But most parks have trash cans and stuff like that. And it's up to you to bring whatever you need to scoop it up and put it in a trash can. And we have trash cans down there at the entrance to the point. So there was no excuse in that except laziness. They took them down there because they didn't want them to crap in their yard because they didn't want to pick it up. So it was more convenient for them to load their animals up, take them to the point, and turn them loose and forget about it. Yeah, I had no idea who was doing it. I just knew there was a lot of them because there was a lot of it down there. It was more than one or two dogs. It was a lot of them. But you would think people would think more of their own community than to deface it and degrade it like that. Gladys says, Linda, you can take a crap your yard if you want to. What? I don't want a crap in my yard. I don't know what you're saying, Gladys. Yeah, Granbury's got dog parks out here where you can walk your dog. They can use the bathroom all they want, but you got to pick it up. You can't leave it there. Yep, and there's leash laws here too, but a lot of people don't abide by them. You got to have your dog in a fenced-in yard, or when he's out, you got to have him on a leash. And I don't say anything about that. As long as the dog's not bothering me, I don't care where the dog goes. But if it comes to the point where they're crapping in my yard, then I'm going to say something about it because I'm not going to pick up somebody else's dog crap. And I guess some of them will probably, that think I've been complaining about them, will start complaining about Little Buddy and Lucky out here. And they're stray cats. I feed them, but they're really not my cats. They'll probably claim that they're coming in their yard bothering them now. But yeah, I believe in live and let live. I mean, life is too short to do that kind of stuff. Just to keep crap stirred up in the neighborhood and keep everybody at one another's throat constantly about petty stuff that shouldn't even happen. Yeah, they used to do it here. We had a lot of abandoned dogs. They just put them out and they started running around in packs. And at one time, we had 5 stray dogs that would run around this neighborhood in a pack together. I mean, I'd find people's shoes in my yard. I found all kind of stuff that these stray dogs would bring and drop in my yard. I was out there constantly picking up stuff like that, putting it in the garbage because I didn't know where it came from. And I didn't even own a dog. I didn't even have cats around then. But if you want to walk your dog down the street, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. If you want to get out there and wash your car, even though we got water restrictions, I don't give a damn. Do it. Just leave me alone. We're not supposed to wash sidewalks off or use any water outside except on our watering day, which is a bunch of bull crap. It's been going on for this is the 3rd year and it's stupid. The water company needs to get their you know what together and fix the problem. But yeah, if you want to get out there and wash your sidewalk off, go to it. I don't care. But don't gripe about me if I get out there and pour a bucket of compost tea on a plant and say I'm watering and it's not my watering day. Oh my God. And don't complain if they think I'm filling up my compost tea buckets on my watering day because I have a right to do that. All I got to say is these people need to grow up and get a life, tend to your own business. We've got quite a few stray cats that started coming around, but and I noticed it when I started feeding little Buddy and Lucky outside. And now when I feed them, I stay pretty close out there till they get through eating, and I bring the food bowls in. I don't leave them out there because I don't want to attract any more cats. I don't want any more cats around here. So I don't leave food outside to attract stray animals anymore. Well, I didn't before, but I ended up with little Buddy and Lucky palling around, following me around every day. Yeah, if people would go by the rule of just live and let live, leave people alone. Unless they're hurting you, leave them alone. You know, their business is their business, not yours. But some people don't have anything better to do. They're so, I don't know, they're so down on their own life. They're unhappy people, evidently, and they have nothing better to do than go around the neighborhood and run their mouth and tell a bunch of stuff that's not even true most of the time. They fabricate so much stuff, it's unreal. You still have Oreo and you feed him twice a day? Well, I felt sorry for little Buddy and Lucky because when little Buddy first started hanging around here, he was such a sweet cat. He followed me around. He looked like he was starving. So I started feeding him a little bit. And then later somebody dropped Lucky off here. I don't know who, but I guess they figured, well, this is a good place. She'll feed them. Well, I don't want any more cats, y'all. I didn't want cats to begin with, but I felt sorry for these and I've been feeding them, but they're not my cats. I said years ago I didn't want the responsibility of any more animals when my cat died. I had my cat for 15 years and that cat was just like a child to me. And it hurts when they die, pass away, just like a human. You have 6 cats, April, and they stay outside in the garage. Well, I don't have a garage. I got a carport, and that doesn't have walls on it. I know and I think something of, I love Little Buddy and Lucky. They're sweet cats, even though I just never wanted any cats. I didn't want any more animals, but I have been taking care of them because I don't want them to run around and starve to death. I think that's cruel to put a cat out and let them starve to death. Now, these packs of stray dogs are something different because they're dangerous and they can be very destructive when they want to be. And finally, the dog pound caught them all, and we've been rid of them for many years now. And the cats got so bad one time, you were woke up in the middle of the night with cats screeching outside in the trees and everywhere fighting. Sound like wildcats out there. And I said after that, when they remedied that problem and got rid of a bunch of cats, I don't know if the pound picked them up or what, but I know usually they don't pick cats up because most of the time cats are not as destructive as a dog will be. But somebody did something. It had to be the pound or something because those stray cats disappeared. Hi, Tenny. How is Tenny doing today? And Jesus saved me. Hello from North Carolina. I mean, this world would be such a better place if people would just go by the 10 Commandments. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Don't go behind them, love them to their face, and then turn your back and just run your mouth and run them in the ground. I mean, I don't want people like that near me. And I don't want this particular person ever to come back to my house. They're not welcome here. They're trespassing if they come here. And I will call 911. Well, little buddy's been neutered. I guess the owners neutered him because he's been fixed. And I actually really do think he's from the neighborhood. And that's one reason I started feeding him. I thought I know who the owner was. I think I still do. And little buddy's a nice cat. And for that matter, Lucky is too. But Lucky has not been fixed. And I really don't feel like it's my responsibility to do that. I really don't. I've got a pet carrier, but the door, is metal. It's all rusted. It looks terrible. And I'm not going to go to the expense to buy a new one to take the cat anywhere. So I figure I fed the cat. That's all I'm doing. I know that Jesus saved me. Spay and neutered is the only way to stop a growing population of stray cats. But I'm not going to take every cat that shows up in my yard and get it spayed or neutered. I can't afford it. I know little buddy is a special kitty. And I hear cats trying to get in a fight outside right now. So I don't know if there's a stray cat come in the yard or not. Little buddy loves you more. And there's Debbie. How's Debbie doing? Like I said, everybody, if anybody wants to get up on screen with me, you're welcome to. The StreamYard link is up at the top of the chat. Just copy and paste it in your browser and get on board with me. Well, somebody's coming in to do a private chat. I don't know who that is. We don't do private chats on live. You can either do a chat in the live or not at all. Gladys says, Linda, if I come scratching at your door, would you feed me? Of course I'd feed you, Gladys. I must have missed something in chat. Kevin says, I can tell you it's a real heartbreak when you have siblings that want to take your freedom and your money from a will. Oh my goodness, what are you talking about, Kevin? Well, I wish Lucky was fixed, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I just don't know yet. I know that's the way it was when my cat Crybaby died. I had that cat for 15 years, and me living alone got me through a lot of stressful nights, to put it that way, because Crybaby lived up to his name. He would not leave you alone. If you sat down, he was up in your lap, in your face, wanting attention. He never, it was almost like the animal senses that you're stressed and they're trying to help you. They want to get your mind off of what you're thinking about, get your mind on them. And that's the way he was. He was insistent on you paying attention to him. To get your mind off what you're doing and pay attention to me is what he was telling you. And it worked because it got me through a lot of stressful situations. And I missed that cat. And I swore my son told me after my cat died, he said, Mom, you need to get another cat or a dog or something. I said, no. I said, no, nothing can replace Crybaby, CB as we called him. And I never would get another cat. And then little buddy started coming over. And I think his real name is Bobby. I think that's what the owners called him is Bobby. Because he still goes back to, he's back and forth. So he's not really my cat. I just help take care of him. But he's a sweetheart. I mean, I started calling him little buddy because I didn't know what his name was. And that's what he was. He was following me around the garden, right with me every step I took. And I kept telling him, I said, well, you're just going to be my little buddy, aren't you? So the name Little Buddy stuck. Oh, Kevin says, yes, well, my mother passed in May and my sister is trying to control me and take my money from the will. It's a lot of money and I can't believe it. Well, I don't see how she can do that. If it's in a legal will, there's nothing she can do. She can detest the will, but really, there's nothing they can do to change it if it's a legal documented will. Yeah, they do, Connie. They comfort us. You love them, and they love you right back. Yeah, things do get weird when there's money involved. I'll tell you, and it's a shame because they should respect the person's wishes that passed away. They drew up that will, leaving whatever they left to Kevin because they wanted Kevin to have it. Those people shouldn't go in there and fight to take it away from him. That's not right to do that. They're jealous because they didn't get the money. Same way with a lot of other people. That's what I've been talking about. Jealousy is the evil that is ruining this world. I'm telling you. I know it feels better though to tell somebody something, Kevin. And I don't blame you. That's one reason I even mentioned what little bit I did about this situation. I'm not mentioning names or anything else, but it's a bad situation when you can't even get along with your neighbors. You know, I didn't have this problem before this particular neighbor moved in the neighborhood. I didn't worry about people going around running their mouth behind my back or trying to get me in trouble behind my back or saying I'm doing this and I'm doing that when I'm not. No, they're not rich, Kevin. Even at our meeting that I went to, and that's where a lot of it started. I mean, after the meeting ended, she started running her mouth. And somebody mentioned that one of the problems with our subdivision was that we hadn't raised the property dues per lot in a long time. And that would help one of the situations financially if they went in and raised the property dues per lot. And she right away says no, that she pays $500 now. She's on disability. She's on a fixed income. She can't pay anymore. Well, she don't stop to think there's a lot of other people in this subdivision that are on fixed incomes. A lot of them are not able to get out there and mow and do a lot of stuff that some people can. And she don't need to be griping about their yards because they can't get out there and mow them. One guy, even one of the board of directors said, well, one gentleman got out there to mow his yard as old as he was, and he wasn't able to do it, but because people are griping, he went out there trying to mow with a weed eater, and he got quite a bit of it cut, and then his weed eater stopped. He couldn't mow anymore. So I mean, there's all kind of situations. You got to love your brother. You can't, just because you want something one way, is not going to make that a rule, and it's not going to say that's got to be that way. One of the women even told her in the meeting, she said, well, if you want to get out there and kill yourself the way you do your yard, that's your priority. But nobody, we don't have to do that. But she's in there, well, I do this and I do that, and everybody else should do this and they should do that. Well, no, we don't. Well, I spent 8 hours a day mowing the other day to clean my yard up. Well, if she's on disability, she ain't able to get out there and spend 8 hours a day doing her yard, running the mower and weed eater and all this stuff. She can do that. She can work. And that's what that woman told her. I didn't. I just sat there and listened. And somebody told her, they said, well, maybe you need to move to a neighborhood that you do like. Well, I've been thinking about doing just that. Well, more power to you. Bye. See you later. No, I've never got so upset at a neighbor in all my life as I did at the meeting the other night. But I did not say a word. I bit my tongue and I said, no, this is not the time or place for this. I'm not going to satisfy her ego by stooping as low as she's doing and start griping back at her and arguing with her. I said, I'm not going there. The meeting was over. She was still running her mouth and I walked out. But I've already made up my mind. Don't come back to my house. Don't ever put your foot on my property again, because I'm only going to tell you one time to leave. And if you don't, I'm calling the cops and you'll go to jail. I'll arrest your ass because I'm not putting up with it anymore. She can stay, you know what, away from me and my property. Trouble is, she's one of the ones that lives right across the street behind the privacy fence. She gets up there and she'll look through the fence and see what I'm doing in my yard during the day. Well, let her watch. I don't give a shit. I know. I said I would not go there. I was not going to air my dirty laundry on YouTube. And that's it. I'm not saying any more about it because the more I say, the more upset I get. And that's not good. I'm not getting upset again. because I don't want drama on my channel at all. Not even my drama. I want my channel to be a happy place. Oh, Susan, you're sweet. Not a big thing, but will be big to you. Oh, wow. Kevin says, I'm sorry, but I should leave. Well, no, you're fine. You're fine, Kevin. We'll chat with you all you want. Don't feel bad about mentioning that. I understand because families can get that way sometimes, and it's a shame because it can tear families apart to get in a family dispute over wills or over anything. And I know it's so discouraging to you, Kevin, to have to be put in that situation. Yeah, Connie, that's right. You took care of your grandparents for 7 years because they're your grandparents. You loved them. And sometimes even if you buy the house instead of inheriting it, they're mad about that because they don't think you paid for it. They think it was just given to you. I tell you, like I said, jealousy is the root of all evil, of what people think is going on. People think of what you got or what you don't have or what you they think you're doing that you're not doing. It's bad. I mean, was your sister not even in the will, Kevin? Oh no, Kevin. Kevin's crying right now because his nerves are bad. Was your sister completely left out of the will? Is that the problem? And they left money to you or but she there's no way she should be mad at you. There's no way that she should interfere. That was your relatives' right to leave whatever they wanted to leave to whoever they want to leave it to. And I know a situation like that does hurt. I mean, I can understand a family situation like that, Kevin, and I know it upsets you, it hurts you that, you know, your relative is doing that. But you'll just have to stay calm about it because, I don't think there's any way that she can change the will if it was a legal document. And really, she should not want to. I mean, your relative had reasons of why they left what they left to you and not to your sister. And it's none of her business. No, but there's a kicker. What kind of kicker's going on, Kevin? Sometimes I think it's best not to even having stuff left to you by a relative, because if it causes family drama, I'd rather not even have it. She has control over your life. How so? Evidently, Debbie, she is. She's fighting the will. He said she's contesting the will because the money was left to him and evidently not her. Oh, she's your legal guardian. So she'll have control over your money, is what you're saying. That is so sad. I'm sorry, Kevin. But I guess that's not good enough. She wants full control over all the money that you were supposed to get. That's why she's going to contest the will. That's sad. Yeah, why is she your legal guardian? Are you that unhealthy that you need a caretaker or someone to take care of you? Oh my goodness. She's got greedy. That's what it is. It's a lot of money and she's greedy. She wants control of it all. Oh my God. Yeah, Kevin, that's what I do. Have your attorney set up a bank account for that money to go in under your name, not hers. I mean, that money could go toward your health care and it could go some to her if you wanted to give it to her because she's caring for you. But I wouldn't want her to have control over it. No. Yeah, I'd get an attorney or maybe have the attorney that handles the will take care of it for you. Put whatever money's coming to you in a big bank account in your name because that's your money. You should have control of it, even though it might go toward your health and your care. And you may even want to pay her some for taking care of you or being a caregiver. I don't know, but I wouldn't want her to control it. Not from what I'm hearing, I wouldn't. She's just mad because the money was going to you and it didn't go to her. Well, she needs to get over it. Yeah, right. She can only take so much, but if she's got complete control of the money, she can do whatever she wants to with it. Jealousy and money is the root of all evil, y'all. People have lots of money. They think they can get away with so much stuff and yes, but she's going to get her half. Well, was half of it left to her? If it wasn't, she doesn't have a half. It's yours. Yeah, and she'll have to be accountable for every dime she spends of that money that's left to you. How was she going to get half? I mean, if it was not left to her. I never believed she was jealous, but I was told she is. but I was told she it is split. It was left to me. It was left to me, my brother, and her. Well, if it was left to all three of you, what is her problem? She just wants control over everything you got. Is that what it is? She wants hers and then she wants yours too. I missed something. Yes, I'm disabled. So she wants hers and she wants yours at the same time. She wants control of hers and yours. Well, I'd have the attorney set your part of it up in an account, and she might be able to spend some of it for your care, but she's got to account for every dime that she takes out of that account and spends for anything. She just can't take it out and spend it on everything. And I would make sure that that attorney gave you access to that account too, since it's yours. I'm so sorry that happened. And I hope it all works out for the best, I tell you. Because I know family situations like that can get pretty bad. And just like my situation, it keeps you upset and stressed out. I mean, you can't help it. But it's even worse when it's your own family. Hi, Chrissy Tate. Hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, this person I was dealing with even told that lady she'd come by my house anytime she wanted to. It wasn't my house. I got news for her. My name's on the title. It's my house. And it's been my house for 40 some years. I know lots of families have been broken up because of wills where a family member, an uncle or an aunt or somebody dies and leaves a large portion of their estate to one person for whatever reason. I mean, they've got their reasons why they do that. And it's not up to the rest of the family to be mad or upset about it. That's the way the person that passed away wanted it. And they should respect that deceased person's wishes. I mean, when my family members pass away, I don't expect anything. I'm sad that they passed away, but I don't expect them to leave or give me anything in a will or anything else. I've never have expected it. Maybe Jesus saved me. I don't know. I don't know how all that works, but I've never dealt with stuff like that firsthand, so I don't know. But I do know he needs a good attorney to be on his side. Whether it's the one that did the will or another one, I don't know. Oh, you've been through that too, Jesus saved me? And yet that was your mother? Yeah, if your mom drew up her will the way she did it, that's the way she wanted it to be. It's not up to them to go in there and say, well, that's all wrong. That's the way your mother wanted that will to be. That's the way she wanted her property or money or whatever it was to be left to certain people, and they should respect that. Yeah, sometimes taxes have to be taken out too. It just depends on how the account was set up. That's true, Connie. But if she was already in charge of him and she was his caregiver that governed over everything he did or bought or sold or whatever, that might be a little bit different situation, but he could always change it. He could get somebody else to, um, be his caregiver. I know that's not an easy thing to do today. You got to have money because nobody works for nothing. Yeah, just don't stress over it. Don't make yourself sick. Let the attorney do the worrying for you. Let him deal with it and straighten it all out. Oh no. About buying a new car. Her greedy husband wanted to take my car shopping so he can get my old car and put my money in his safe. Oh, well, I love my family. I've never been in a situation like that, so I don't really know what to do. And I know you love your family too, and it's so stressful to be in a situation like that. When my mom died, she distributed what money account she had equally between me and my five brothers. But the house that she lived in went to one of my younger brothers, which I didn't agree with, but I didn't contest it. I didn't cause a scene over it. I said, that's what mom wanted, so let it be. Hi, Lisa. How's Lisa doing? Well, good deal. I'm glad you could pop in today, Lisa. Yeah, that's the problem right there. They don't want to have anything to do with Kevin, but they want his money. They want control of his money. And that is a bad situation. Evidently, their part that they inherited is not enough. They want theirs and yours too. Well, it sounds like Kevin might be living with his sister. And in that situation, it's kind of hard not to get in an argument with them, you know? But yeah, I definitely would get an attorney and let your sister deal with the attorney about all of it. That way, she can't bother you because you're not going to change anything. The attorney's going to deal with it. Oh, you live by yourself. Well, there's no way she needs control of your money. You should control your own money. Okay, Wilson. Take the money and run. Well, he shouldn't have to do that, April, but I understand what you're saying. But she should leave him alone. It sounds to me like from his comments that he's capable of handling his own affairs. He can handle his own money. He doesn't need her in control of it. You can plant pepper seeds right now. And might maybe what you want to do is don't plant every one of them. Plant maybe half of each package of seed and save the other half for spring. But you can plant pepper seeds right now. You just have to keep them watered real well so they'll germinate and come up. Because this is the time of year that peppers do the best. They love the heat, but you got to keep them watered. Yeah, just tell your sister that any dealings about the money that's inherited, she needs to talk to the attorney, not you. Don't hassle you about it. Been so lonely. I'm going to get loose, let loose, and move as soon as my money comes in. I don't blame you, Kevin. Don't blame you a bit. I mean, with that money coming in, you can go anywhere you want and live. You can always, if you need help with living situations and stuff like that, you can always hire someone to come help you. You can always hire a caretaker. One that won't give you any lip, so to speak. And I said that way to try to make you smile. I think she and my sister makes 200,000 a year. It's crazy. Yeah, she's making that much money. She don't need your money. She's making that much a year, and she's got that much coming in of her own, and she don't need yours. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Johnny Appleseed. I didn't hear anything. Yeah, people that want fast money spend it fast and come back wanting more. Johnny Appleseed, I don't know what you're talking about. I guess you're talking about me. You said she's got that look of sudden relief and slight embarrassment. Well, no, I don't. She just paid 100 grand on a Tesla. Well, as long as she's paying for it with her money, let her spend it. Just don't let her get her grips in your money. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Too many more comments like that, I'm going to get rid of him. He's one of the trolls. Might be a kid or older person with nothing better to do. Yep, it's 95 or 96 degrees right now. And it's going to be in the triple digits starting tomorrow for over a week with no rain. Yeah, I hit him from the channel. He won't be back. I mean, everybody's welcome to my chat, but when you get people like that, they're not going to be here long. Because if my moderators don't get rid of them, I will. Johnny's blocked. Evidently, Gladys blocked him too. It said message deleted by Connie Jones. See, when somebody gets rid of somebody, it always comes up and it shows me who did it. Connie got rid of him this last time anyway. I mean, I can't believe some people. It's like crazy neighbors. There's trolls of all kind coming through the internet, coming into live chats to cause problems. Have any of y'all watched Steve Wallace? His stealth camping adventures. I got hooked on some of his videos. I love to watch him. But then his wife passed away, and he tried to get back making his videos, and then he actually called his neighbor crazy neighbor, this old guy that hung out with him all the time and went on camping adventures with him, called him crazy neighbor. Well, crazy neighbor had some kind of illness and he passed away. And that really threw Steve Wallace for a loop. And but he's finally back. He produces about one video every week or every 2 weeks now. And he produces a little bit different type of a camping adventure type video, but he's doing a good job. I like the videos he's making. He said he's getting up in years. He can't handle a lot of the camping like he used to, because some of it's pretty dangerous, you know. And he's always out there camping by himself usually, and now he doesn't have crazy neighbor to go with him. It's called Adventures with Steve. There's Louisiana Homestead. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing today? And there's Life with Pippin Time. How are you doing today? You said I should think about doing stealth camping, car camping videos with the setup you have. Yeah, but I don't usually go camping by myself. The only times I went camping was when my son went camping when my granddaughter was little. Hello, not hell. Well, I've got a 14-foot tent. It's a teepee tent, and it's pretty easy to put up. One person can do it. I can do it. And I think I told Gladys and some of them that I like to uh, glamp, as they call it, glamping, where you take your own bed or cot with you. You don't sleep on the ground. I don't sleep on an air mattress. She said, well, you need to put it up and let us see it. Well, it's too hot to put it up in my yard right now, and I'm not going camping right now. It's too hot. This neighbor even insisted that after that meeting was over, the association meeting was over, that she was insinuating that I got discounts on paying my property dues. Nobody in this subdivision gets discounts. I pay $95 for each lot that I have, just like she does. She's got 5. She pays $475 property dues. I can't help that. She's got 5 lots. I've got 3. So I pay $285. But I told her that. I said, I pay $95 for each lot, and I've got 3 lots. Yeah, but I want to know how much you actually pay. $95 each for 3 lots. And the other lady even told her, she just told you how much she pays. Yeah, but I want to know actually how much she pays. That woman's got a problem, y'all. She was so afraid that I might have been getting a 5-cent discount, and she wasn't getting any. I don't get a discount on property dues. I pay the full amount just like everybody else in this whole subdivision. Well, I did one traveling video where I drove to North Carolina and back when we had a death in the family. But I didn't get to video a whole lot. Because, about the only time I could get out and video was when I was at a rest area. And I actually stopped at a rest area to take a nap during the night and didn't get a motel room because I didn't plan on staying all night. But I use that little cot set up in my car when I do travel like that. So if I get tired of driving anytime, if I can pull over somewhere where it's safe to stop, I'll just get back there and lay down on that and take a nap, rest. And I don't have to go to the expense of paying for a motel room, and I don't stay all night. The dues money, it's used for the upkeep of the streets, the upkeep of our park, the upkeep of the parking area down there at the boat ramp, the upkeep of the boat ramp if there is any. We've got a little park down there where I go fishing a lot, and they're repairing a lot of the kids. Like, we used to have a little merry-go-round thing that they'd get on and push and it would spin. I don't know what they call those, but they're in the process, I think, of replacing that. We used to have swings down there and a slide and a teeter-totter, stuff like that. And that's what the money goes toward. Yeah, so you not only got property dues, but you got property taxes. We just don't pay state tax here, which helps a lot. Most states have state and federal tax. We don't. And we used to have a swimming pool that was for the upkeep of the pool, which they filled in with dirt, and it's just a playground for the kids now. It was for the maintenance of the fishing pier when we had it, which now they turned into a boat dock, which they should have never done, because now people from other areas tie up at our boat dock and come into our park area that are not even allowed here because this is private property. Only property owners have the right to use the facilities. And that's why it was never changed for many years. They kept it as a fishing pier because it didn't have a ladder or anything, and it had a railing around it. So it made it almost impossible for you to tie a boat up to and get off on the pier. But somebody got a wild hair up there, you know what, and decided, well, we want a boat dock. So they tore the railing down and put a ladder in so the boats could dock there. So I lost my fishing pier. I mean, I voted for a boat dock, but I didn't think they would. I had no idea they were going to change the fishing pier into a boat dock. If I'd have known that, I'd have voted it down. They need the boat dock around where the boat ramp is, and usually they have them over there close to it, you know. And they're the boat ramps are the boat docks are usually floating; they're not stationary. So when the water goes down, the dock goes down. When it comes up, the dock goes up. Because our fishing pier that they turned into a boat dock is stationary. The water gets real low. There's no way you can tie up to that thing and get off and come in here. You can't even reach the ladder. Well, you know, everybody at the meeting heard what she said. All the board of directors heard every word she said. That lady told her, they said, you know, you're just an evil person. That's what she told her. She said, you're evil. And she is, because she's always stirring up trouble. Yeah, I plan to do that. Now that she'll probably be watching me doubly hard behind her privacy fence over there, trying to take pictures, trying to catch me doing something I'm not supposed to do, which I generally don't do that. I tried to abide by the rules. I haven't been hosing my concrete down. I haven't been washing my car in the driveway or anything like that. And if my neighbors want to do it, that's their business. Get out there and wash your car. Get out there and hose your sidewalk off. I don't care. Yeah, I was going to ask you, Connie, how is the work on your pipe coming? Oh, you got a neighbor like that too. Life with Pippin. Life with Pippin time. There's probably one person like that in all the neighborhoods. But it's a shame because I was just trying to be a friend to her. Well, I found you can't be a friend to people like that. They will stab you in the back. Isn't that something that Bobby should be doing, Connie? Or cannot he might not be able to get down there to even work on it. I don't know. Well, I've had no trespassing signs up on all three of my lots. They've been up for years, and I will enforce them if I have to. I don't go to her house. I don't bother her. She needs to leave me alone. Evidently, Sheila, there's crazy people in this world, I tell you. That's one reason I stay home and mind my own business. But I will go to my meetings. I mean, for many years I didn't go, and I was wondering, what's going on? What are the changes coming up? This, that, and the other. Now, since I don't work a public job, I try to go out to all the meetings. I'm not going to complain about everybody. I'm going to keep up with what's going on. Well, that's good, Connie. At least he's helping you. So you're not trying to tackle that all by yourself. Helps you up like a bag of potatoes. Well, it's a good deal. You're working together to get the situation taken care of. I'm going to have to replace the little washers, in my faucet, especially in the kitchen, pretty soon because it sometimes it'll start dripping. And I try to make sure I got both faucets turned off really good. And it's not real bad yet, but I know it's just going to get worse. And eventually I'll have to replace the washers in it. And I'm not sure I know how to do that. I've never replaced them. Gladys said, crazy lady, may need to smoke a funny cigarette. Well, she's ruined any chance of us ever having a friendship. A neighborly friendship is gone after what she did. And I'm not going to go into detail, but she came by my house with her offerings and then went down to the meeting and run her mouth and just downed me left and right. I took everything from her and oh, blah, 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 blah. No, that's it for me. I'm done with her. She needs to stay completely away from my house. Well, that's good, Connie, that you know how, and at least you got him there to help you with some of the muscle, if you need it. I don't mind fixing my things as long as I know what I'm doing and I can figure it out how to get it fixed. But a lot of my stuff, the pipes are so tight, the fittings, I can't get them loose. It takes somebody stronger than me to get the things loose. And so I don't know if I'll be able to replace the washers or whatever needs to be replaced in these faucets when the time comes or not. But I'll try, see what I can do. Well, from what I understand, I'm not the only one she's done this crap to. So she's probably trying to run them out too. And there's Kai. Hello, Kai. You notice I'm on StreamYard today, taking your lunch. Well, I'm glad you did, and I hope you're having a good day. Oh, your youngest turn. Your youngest turns 1, so you're going to be having a birthday party after work. You're going to take him to Kid City something city in Capoli. Well, I know you're going to have fun. And 1 years old, that's just at such a cute age. Everything is so new and exciting to them. They love everything. Great time. Get a pic of his birthday cake face and body. Okay, Debbie, will you have a blessed evening and have a good day tomorrow? And I guess we'll see you on the next live. He loves, sure. So we've been so busy making decorations. Okay, Shelley Edwards, have a good evening. Have a good day tomorrow. You build him a swamp house and some signs saying ogre, ogar, keep out, and stuff for kids to play. That sounds like it's going to be so much fun. I think my neighbors were having some kind of birthday party or something next door. I think it was Friday night because it looked like they had some kind of one of those blow up things put up in the yard. And then later that evening, the lights were all on, and you could hear a bunch of kids just laughing and giggling and carrying on over there. So I said it must have been one of them's birthday party, I guess. How many kids have you got invited to his little party? None. You, you're going to be the adult kid playing with him in his swamp house. Oh, I see. You're going to have a bigger one at the grandparents'. Well, that's enough because he's little. He don't need 20 people over there to celebrate his birthday. I'm sure you're going to have a blast with the swamp house and everything you've got set up for him. Oh, all the nephews and stuff will come at his grandparents. Yeah, that'll be fun. When my son turned 1 years old, I baked him a small individual birthday cake, chocolate cake, and put him in his high chair. And I put that birthday cake right on his tray and let him have it. He had chocolate all over him. But it was his birthday cake. I mean, it was his birthday, so I made him his own little birthday cake. Yep, your inner child will be coming out for sure, Kai. And I'm sure your wife will go. She's going to have fun too. It's like being a kid all over again. You made a chocolate cake with green frosting. Well, for my son, I made him a chocolate cake with chocolate icing, so he had chocolate everywhere. I've never made fondant. I don't know if I'd be any good at making that stuff. Yeah, I can just see all the fun you're going to have, Kai, with that little birthday party. 1 year olds have so much fun with the least little thing. And to put all that birthday stuff together for him, that's going to be something else. Almost lunchtime there. It's almost dinner time here. 10 minutes to 5 or 4:50, whatever, whichever way you want to go with it. 3:50 there where Sheila is. Yep, that's right, Connie. Kids love it when their parents just get down on their level and have a good time with them. Okay, Kai, well, have a good afternoon or good evening. It's afternoon for you. I guess it's after your lunchtime. So you have a good afternoon, good evening. Have fun with your little ones. I wish I could see it, but I know we can't. It'd be so much fun to be able to see all that. Kevin said his mama told him not to touch the candles, and he did. Found out they were hot right away, didn't you, Kevin? And give your little one a hug for me, both of them. Give both of them birthday hugs, even though it's only one of them's birthday. So many creeps in the world, you know. Yeah, we know, Kyle. A lot of weirdos out there. You know, I haven't even decided what I want for dinner. I did not eat breakfast this morning, and I fixed a sausage link. You know, the kielbasa sausage. I cut a link about that long and cooked it in the microwave and put it in a hamburger. I'm not a hamburger, but a hot dog bun. And I put relish and mustard on it. And that was my lunch. That's all I've eaten today. I haven't decided what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. Okay, Kevin. You think it's good news? All right. Be waiting to hear from you. Crab dipped in warm butter. Oh, you're making me hungry. April, I love crab. Oh, crab or lobster or shrimp. I went to Vegas with a friend one time and we got lobster. First time I've ever ordered lobster in a restaurant. And this was the whole lobster. I mean, it was the body part and it was still on in the shell. And I didn't know what I was doing. I looked at it and it's like, okay, how am I going to eat this thing? And there was a waiter standing close by and he noticed that I really didn't know how to get into this lobster. So he came over there and he says, "May I?" And I said, I just kind of backed up and said, "Sure." And he got it cut open for me and all that good stuff so I could eat it. And I thought that was the sweetest thing for him to do because I did not have a clue as to how to eat that thing. I had never gotten a whole lobster with the shell still on it, you know? Oh, okay, Kevin. Good deal. Yeah, I definitely needed help and butter with that. It was sure good when he got it cut open for me, you know, the shell opened and everything. Because I'd never been to a restaurant to order some, you know, a lobster. I mean, I grew up eating seafood, but it was seafood, local seafood, you know, like shrimp and fish and oysters and clams. Lobsters didn't come into the picture. I don't think anybody could have afforded them when I was growing up. And I never bought any lobster on my own after I left home because I could never afford it. I can barely afford to buy a couple of crab legs maybe once a year or so because they're pretty expensive. Yeah, I bought once in a long while. If I go into like HEB or even Brookshire's, and they've got halfway decent looking crab legs, I might order get buy two crab legs from the deli section, you know, where they have fish on ice and stuff like that. But they're pretty expensive, so I don't buy them but about once a year, if that. And I've never bought lobster, so good afternoon, Kathy. How's Kathy doing? Well, Walmart Supercenter is my go-to shopping place, but I do make it to HB and Kroger and some of the other stores occasionally, you know, Aldi's. I haven't been to Aldi's in a long time. Well, I know I've seen frozen lobster here, you know, in like packages frozen, but I've never bought any because they're kind of expensive and they're not on my budget or never have usually been on my budget. It's really good, Sheila, with butter, garlic butter. Oh my God, it's so good. If you like shrimp, Or crab, you'd love lobster. Pretty good today. I've been working on my security cameras. I had one to go offline with me a day ago, and haven't been able to get it back online, but it's an older camera. I've had it for quite a while, so it may not work properly. I don't know, but I'll get it taken care of, and I'll get probably get my camera up by tomorrow. Oh, coconut shrimp is real good, April. I love coconut shrimp. Me too, Kathy. I love any kind of seafood. Now, I don't like octopus or any of that stuff, but shrimp, crab, clams, lobster, get these great big old Alaskan crab legs. Those are so good with butter. Yeah, we used to make clam chowder all the time when we lived in North Carolina because we lived on Oak Island before we moved to Texas. And we could go clamming anytime we wanted to. So we'd have fresh clams to put in clam chowder. Uh, we usually caught our own shrimp. My ex would go shrimping with friends, and they'd take the boat out and drag a net behind it and bring home a ton of shrimp. And then we had a 50-foot gill net that stayed out in the ocean 24/7, pulled it in about every 12 hours or so. And we always kept freezers and coolers full of fish, flounder, spots, all kind of fish. So we always had plenty of seafood to eat. Surf and turf. Yep, I grew up on seafood and fresh vegetables. That's the only way to go. I mean, you don't get it out here. I mean, you can go fishing in the lake and get a catfish or a bass or something and cook it, but you can't go in a restaurant and get fried oysters or stuff like that because they just don't have it. And if they did, they wouldn't be like you got back home, fresh off the ships. Wow, you're quite the fisherman. Well, I love to fish. I'm not the best fisherman in the world, but you learn a few things over the years. Yeah, in North Carolina, where we live right close to the coastline, my parents always had huge gardens every summer, and we'd freeze vegetables, canned vegetables for the winter. We always had plenty of seafood from the ocean because we could go get our own. We always had wild meat, like venison and stuff like that. So it was healthy eating. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. I mean, Fisher Lady. Octopus is called taco here. Really? Well, I've only tried to eat octopus twice, and it was like trying to chew rubber. You couldn't chew it up. And it had a texture like rubber. I couldn't handle it in my mouth. I had to spit it out. And I know people love calamari, as they call it, calamari. I've tried to eat it, and I can't eat it. It's so tough. All you're tasting is the batter that it's breaded with. So I'd rather not waste my money on it. I'd rather have some shrimp or lobster or crabs, fried oysters or something like that if I'm going to buy seafood. You can keep the octopus and the calamari. Kevin says, I worked in the grocery business and grew up in Fort Walton, Destin, Florida. Well, I bet you had a lot of seafood around you. Yeah, they eat it raw. Sushi. I've eaten a few things in some of these sushi bars before, but it's almost like the fish is cooked. I mean, it's not like it's completely raw. Squid, yeah, I don't like squid. Ugh, you can keep that. Well, look at the fish fry video that I did. I just put about half flour, half um, cornmeal, seasoning, and then I dip my fish in the milk, then I dip it in the flour or the meal, and then I dip it in the egg mixture, then I dip it back in the meal mixture before I fry it. Turns out pretty good that way. Yeah, I can't handle calamari or squid. You can have it. I never could understand what everybody thought was so good about that. Octopus and squid, no, that's off the table for me. I'm not wasting my money on it. Yeah, I'd rather have two neck bones and a rice, Wilson, than to have squid or octopus. Yeah, you should be able to get really good seafood in Florida right there on the coast. I mean, Florida is surrounded by coastline. And my little hometown is right on the coast. It's just 20 minutes inland from Wilmington, which is right on the coast, the port city, where a lot of the boats come in, ships come in. So usually fresh seafood is readily available there. And when we lived on Oak Island, you could go get your own, go fishing, go crabbing, get your own shrimp. Yeah, I'm not chewing anything that's rubbery like that. That to me is useless. Just like I told this guy that I dated one time, he loved um, escargot, which is just downright snails to me. I don't care what you call it. If we went to a restaurant and they had escargot, he ordered it. And he always tried to get me to eat it, and I never would put one of them in my mouth. I said, no. He said, well, they're real chewy. I said, well, they can be whatever they want to be. I said, I'm not putting one in my mouth. I don't want it. I said, they're probably real chewy, just like squid and octopus. Something I don't want in my mouth. Put it in your mouth and be chewing on rubber. I said, I just visualize those things crawling in my yard and how slimy and yucky they are. I don't want them. I'm not putting one in my mouth. I said, it's a snail. I don't care how you look at it, what you call it. It's still a snail, and I don't want it. Thank you. Kathy. And the only way I'll eat oysters is if they're battered and fried. I love them battered and fried, but I will not. I don't want them off the half shell when they're raw. No, I can't handle that. Now I like the real tiny ones if you put them in oyster stew. Oh, oyster stew is really good, and the real tiny ones, when they're cooked in the stew, they get real firm, and they're really good. Sheila, she says, "Oh hell no, no snails, no sushi, no squid, and no to the most seafood." I love seafood, but there's just those items, those few things that I do not want. Macadamia crushed mahi mahi. That's got to be fish. Yeah, that was some good fish in that fish video. They turned out really good, and oh, they tasted so good. And I've still got a little bit more of that fish in the freezer that I haven't cooked yet because I had to divide that package up. The package of fish was so big. And that video on the fish stew or fish soup, really, it's better to take the tomato sauce and all the ingredients you put in the soup part of it and put it in the blender and just blend it up and make it real creamy and then put it back with your fish. It makes it really better that way. That way you don't have anything that's solid in your soup. It's just real thick and creamy, and it's better that way. And I should have done that in the video. I don't know why I didn't. Because I usually do that if I'm going to eat it myself, is put it in the blender. Thank you, Kevin. Clam soup is good. I love the clam chowder myself. I love the clam chowder with the creamy milk type soup in it. Oh, the milk chowder. I love it. My dad loved oysters that were raw. In oyster season, usually he'd buy a bushel of oysters, bring them home, build a fire in the backyard, and steam his oysters. He'd steam them just enough that the shells would pop open, and he'd finish opening them up and get them out and eat them like that, right off out of the shell. I can't handle it that way. I think I'd probably throw up. A friend of mine did get me to eat one though at a oyster bar one time. We went in this oyster bar waiting for time to pass because we were waiting to get in to see a show. And he asked me if I liked oysters. I said, yeah, I love oysters. But in my mind, I'm thinking fried oysters. He's thinking oysters on the half shell, raw oysters. We got in there. He ordered a dozen oysters on the half shell. And he says, here you go. Here's some oysters. Help me eat them. I said, oh, no, 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 no. I love oysters, but I can't handle those. I said, you eat all you want. But he finally talked me into trying one. I got it in my mouth and I swallowed it immediately. And he just laughed at me and he said, well, now try another one. I said, no, one's enough. Oh my God, she's talking there. Yeah, I might could eat them if they were baked a little, if they were cooked a little and they were solid. But just getting those shells hot enough to where they pop open, those oysters are still all raw. They're not cooked at all. I can't eat them that way. Yeah, I love clam chowder, Wilson. Rebecca says she loves fresh oysters with tobacco, 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 tabaccio, I guess, or oyster, and oyster Rockefeller. I think the fish came from HEB. And hello, Linda. I just realized you're in chat. I don't remember seeing you before. Well, I've never tried a fried oyster poor boy sandwich, but it'd probably be good because I like the oysters. You meant Tabasco. That's what I thought you meant. Well, thank you, House of Joni. I think you're one of the new ones. I don't remember seeing your name in chat before, but welcome. You love char grilled oysters, tons of butter and cheese cooked on the grill. I've never had them that way, but I bet I would like them. Oh, I love scallops, April. I just usually can't afford to buy them. Well, thank you, House of Joni. Love having you in my chat. Glad you came in and glad you joined. Glad you subscribed. We always like to see new subscribers in our chat. Your whole family loves seafood, but not you, Cindy. My dad would pry them open with a screwdriver. Well, my dad usually had a good, like a hunting knife or something that was pretty, substantial to pry those oyster shells open. And he'd eat 'em right out of the shell. He loved those steamed oysters on the open fire. It's a great place and safe to chat and share. Oh, I'm glad you think so, Kevin. That's the way I want to keep it. Keep the trolls out. Seafair is on and you're watching the Blue Angels. I don't know if there's cooked ones, but I seem like I bought frozen ones there before. Frozen scallops at the supermarket. I know you can get fresh ones, and I think I bought frozen ones before. But then I brought them home and cooked them. I just sauteed them in some butter and garlic and ate them like that. They were so good. I know. The only time they really do have it tough is if they can't find someone that loves animals and they don't find a home or place that they can go where they can at least get food. Then a cat's life is not so good. House of Joni doesn't like raw oysters. I don't either. Once in a while, I'll buy a can of oyster stew and bring it home and eat it with some crackers, and it's so good. Or I bought the clam chowder. Oh, the hydroplane racing seafair. I can imagine that, House of Joni. But I bet that scallop casserole is really good. But I can see where it would get pretty expensive. You couldn't fix it very often. Poor boy sandwich can't be fried shrimp or oysters and lettuce, tomato, and mayo. That sounds good. The last time I went home, I thought about this one restaurant back home that served fresh fried oysters, and they were in season the month I went home. The second day that I was there, everybody was at work, and I had already taken my brother and his wife and two girls out to eat because they don't, they're picky. They don't like seafood and different things. So we went to a restaurant that served like a buffet so they could just choose whatever they wanted. Well, when everybody was gone the next day, I just couldn't take it anymore. I kept thinking about those fried oysters, and I drove over to the next town, which is Burgaw, and I went to Bandana's restaurant, and I ordered me a plate of fried oysters. Oh my God. I felt like I died and went to heaven. They were so good, y'all. I couldn't even eat all of them, because it came with the French fries and coleslaw and hush puppies. And I brought half of it home and ate it later or the next day. The Blue Angels fly over our house during the seafair. So they have it close to your house then, huh? Not far. And there's Pat Potter. Hello. Welcome to our live chat. Glad to have you. You can see the pilot when they fly over. That's neat. That sounds good. Jesus saved me. Hamburger steak with gravy, onions, peppers over rice, fresh cucumbers and tomatoes out of the garden. That all sounds real good. 20 miles away. So, yeah, when they're up in the air, you can see them. Most of the time, I do eat the fish I catch, Cindy. If they're big enough to keep, I bring them home and I either freeze them and cook them later, or I'll cook them for dinner that night. Sometimes I brought, if it was just one, it was big enough to keep, but really not big enough to make a meal with, I'll put him in my compost tea buckets and make fish fertilizer out of him. Some people might say, well, that's gross because it would smell. You'd be surprised. The heat in Texas, you put that fish in that bucket or that 32-gallon barrel, put a lid on it, and in 2 days, it's cooked, it's broken apart. You take the lid off, you don't even smell it. You don't even know there's fish in there. But it makes good fish food. I mean, plant food for your plants. Makes good fertilizer. And April's having coffee with English muffins. Yeah, I don't know what I want for dinner tonight. I haven't even thought about it. April said, I wish I had jelly, dang it. Well, years ago, and some people still do, they go fishing and catch tons of fish And they'll dig rows in their garden and literally bury the fish under the rows where they plant their vegetable plants. Best fertilizer in the world for your plants. And some people will do that if they if they plant in the ground, they'll make a real long, deep row and put food scraps all along it and then cover it up. And then wait a few days and then they plant their vegetables along that row. Makes great fertilizer. Just like, I'm putting mine in my totes and buckets, and they were just putting it in the ground, because they have access to plant in the ground where I don't. Too many rocks. You can't till it up. I could plant, and I used to do that, but it was like I'd have to plant seeds here between rocks and skip over here and plant between a rock or boulder. Have a recipe for you, Linda. Make mac and cheese, fry a pound of hamburger, drain, and add a can of diced tomatoes. I make that all the time. It's good and so eat. Oh, that sounds really good. And I want me some mac and cheese. I haven't had mac and cheese in a while. That might be what I do for dinner tonight. I might make me some mac and cheese. I think I've got a little bit of sausage that came in a pound roll that I need to cook. And I may fry that up and add that to my mac and cheese instead of ground beef. Yeah, you feed the worms in your garden. And if you put that kind of stuff in your totes when you're building your soil to plant in, the worms will actually get in your tote. They find a way to get in. They come in through the drain holes or they'll crawl up and come in through the top. Yeah, I don't usually bake mine because it's too hot to get the oven going. I just cook mine in a pot. I melt my cheese and pour my noodle, put my cheese in the noodles after they're cooked and mix it all up. And that's the way I can do my sausage, just fry it up and put it in my noodles when I get them cooked and drained, and then dump my cheese in there and get it all mixed up, melted together. Sounds good. I've done ham that way. I love ham slices or ham chunks to chop it all up and put it in your mac and cheese. And I'll tell you something else that's real good, and that's Spam. Get you a can of Spam and dice it up in little bitty cubes, brown it in a saucepan, and then dump that in your mac and cheese and stir it up. It's so good. It's just as good, if not better, than putting the ham in there. Because when you saute it, you fry it a little bit, brown it, it brings out all that flavor in the Spam, and it adds all that good stuff to the mac and cheese when you go to eat it. I've not put tomatoes in there yet. I've not tried that, but that does sound good. Peas and mac and cheese. I haven't tried that, April, but I love peas, so that'd probably be good too. Well, here the cheapest you can get a can of sardines is $1.25. So it'd be a little bit expensive to buy sardines enough to go in all my pots and totes. Catching the fish would be a lot cheaper. All I'm out is the bait that I'm using, which isn't usually much. We call that crackling here. Oh, when you fry just fat, chop it up and fry it. That's cracklings to us, or where I grew up. You used to put tomatoes in mac and cheese all the time in college. It was real yummy. I bet it was good. It cost too much money, Wilson. And after you dug up the rocks, you'd have to have dirt hauled in. And that would take away from the dirt that I want to plant in. The dirt that's out there is good to plant in. It's just got too many rocks. And if you backhoe that all up with the rocks and you put in a couple of feet of hauled in dirt, then you're planting in the dirt that they bring in. You're not planting in the natural dirt that was here. But that's an interesting use of sardines. But it'd take quite a bit. I mean, I'd have to spend $100 to get enough cans of sardines to go in all my pots and totes if I put a can in each one. I don't know, that great big hillbilly tomato, the one great big one that I picked out of my garden this year. I couldn't resist. I made me a BLT out of that. I had to. And it just took one slice of that tomato to cover the entire slice of bread. So there was like 3 or 4 tomato sandwiches there because I got at least 4 slices of tomato off that one tomato. Yeah, it's cheap fertilizer, and like I said, it's not at all the way you think it would be when you put it in a compost tea bucket or a compost tea container. Because, like I said, it gets so hot here in Texas. After 2 days, you don't smell anything in that. You can take the lid off. You don't smell fish. Old Bay seasoning, they're amazing. I've never tried them with bacon jam. Huh. I didn't even know there was such a thing as bacon jam. I've never heard of it. You leaving us, Linda? If you are, have a great afternoon, evening, good day tomorrow. Have a safe week, and hopefully we'll see you on our next live, which could be any time. I mean, for sure Thursday at 7, but don't be surprised if I pop up with 1 or 2 in between then. Yeah, I always give little buddy the water from the sardine can, and I give him a little bit of the sardine too. He loves it. That's the only fish that I've seen he'll eat is the sardines. I can give him a piece of fried fish or even raw fish. He'll turn his nose up and walk off. But sardines, he loves it. He loves the sardine water. Later, later, Linda. Yeah, the rocks would be gone for good. And I had a guy come by one time wanting to do just that, push out all the rocks out of my garden and everywhere. But I worked hard to put my rocks around my flower beds and rock gardens and stuff. So I told him, no, I don't want it pushed up. Yeah, watermelon rind jelly's good. I made some last summer. I had one great big old watermelon with thick rind like that. It was about an inch thick. And I cut up that whole watermelon rind and I made watermelon rind jam with it. I think I've still got some. I might have a small jar of it, but it's good. And I know some people back home, the people I grew up with, their parents made watermelon rind preserves. You know, they cut them in like strips, almost like a pickle, and preserve it in some kind of a liquid. I don't know what they put in it, but everybody swore by them. I've never eaten one. I've eaten squirrel before, Pat. Baking soda kills bugs. Yeah, growing up, I used to eat squirrel. My mom would cook squirrel and rice because my daddy would go hunting and kill a bunch of them, and my mom would throw them in the pot and cook up rice with them. It was good. I mean, poor squirrels don't have a whole lot of meat on their bones, but they are good. And my first husband liked to go squirrel hunting, and I'd cook them for him, and we'd eat it. You know, it was good. But you know, it's been 40 some odd years, and I've not eaten any squirrel or deer or anything out here. I have eaten deer one time. I think my son went hunting years ago and got made some deer sausage and gave me some, and it was really good. And one of his first wife's family members went hunting to kill those wild hogs that was up around Fort Worth and Dallas. They were begging for people to go up there and kill those hogs because they were being so destructive and they were populating so fast. And he said he went hunting and got a bunch of them and filled his freezer every year with wild hog. And that was some of the best sausage I've ever eaten. He gave me, I think, 2 packages of sausage. It was really good. I'd love to have some of that now. Maui is being overrun by deer. Well, don't you have deer hunters in Maui, April? I'm surprised they don't go deer hunting and start barbecuing deer, cooking deer over an open pit like they do the pigs. Well, I never cleaned them now. My daddy used to go hunting and get them, and he'd clean them, and then he'd give them to mom, and she'd wash them and put them in the pot and cook them. And that's the same way I did. If my ex-husband, you know, years ago wanted to go hunting and get squirrel, he cleaned them. I didn't. So I got them right ready to put in the pot after I washed them off because I could not skin them and clean them like that. I asked if she had ever ate it, and she said no. She was traumatized by it. She would not eat it. Yeah, some people, you know, I don't think I could handle cleaning, skinning a squirrel. I have all I can handle is to skin a catfish. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather catch one big enough that I can fillet and just fillet the skin right off of them. That's the easy way to do it. And I've caught a few that big out here. Yeah, my first husband hated it if I went hunting with him because I wouldn't let him shoot a squirrel or a deer. I told him they were too pretty to shoot. So he'd rather I stayed home and let him go by himself. Oh, you're having computer problems, Susan? Sorry to hear that. You're going to get a BB gun if they don't stay out of your plants. Well, you know what? I don't know what it is. We got plenty of oak trees out here, and I've got tons of squirrels that get into my bird feed and everything else. But they do have a lot of acorns. And so far, I've not really seen where the squirrels have bothered my plants, my vegetable plants. Well, the birds a lot of times will drop a lot of seeds on the ground from the bird feeder, you know, if it's full. And the squirrels have plenty of bird seed on the ground. but they'd rather climb the pole and get up to the feeder. And I don't want them to do that because they'll empty the feeder. The neighborhood squirrels. Yeah, I knew that's what you meant, Connie. You just had the first bloom on your clematis, Ashley. Well, how neat. You had to reboot because you had no sound. I'm not eating possum. I'll eat the squirrel, but I'm not touching the possum or an armadillo. Some people claim they eat armadillo meat. I don't want any part of it. They claim that armadillos and possum can carry leprosy. I don't think I want to take a chance on trying to eat one of them. Hey, Craig D, how's you doing today? Glad you could pop in. Pull the skin off with pliers, Wilson says. I do that if I have to skin a catfish. I'll nail him to the tree and pull the skin off with the pliers. That's the only way you can get it off. But I'd rather catch the bigger catfish that I can just fillet, and then you can just slide that knife between the meat and the skin and just fillet that skin right off. I'm glad to hear that, Craig. Skinning a catfish, Superwoman. I know that catfishes are hard to skin, and I watched my dad do them. If they were small, too small to really cut a good fillet out of, to cut them that way, he'd take that catfish and he'd take a long nail, he'd nail him to the tree, he'd cut around the head and grab that skin with pliers and just pull it down. That way the tree helped him. The tree was holding the catfish while you took both hands and pulled. And that's the way I have to skin them if I skin them like that, because I can't hold them in my hands and do it. Yeah, I don't do that if I can get away with it, though. I don't like skinning catfish. I'd rather catch the great big one and then just fillet him. I thought about getting one, but I haven't done it yet. That's probably what I should do, because sometimes they'll get frisky and they'll jump on that tool that's on mine, but then they slide down just like the slinky. They'll get on that tool and they'll slide all the way down to the ground, and then they step back and they look up like, what just happened? I saw one do that, and I think I got him on video. Yeah, one of my short videos is a squirrel going up that pole with the tool, and he slid back down on the tool, and he didn't know what in the world happened. I've eaten alligator meat one time. There's a restaurant in Fort Worth. I think the name of the restaurant was Sam's Seafood or something like that. But they have a platter, a great big oval platter, and they'll bring out, you order this seafood mix platter dish, and it feeds everybody at the table. There's so much on it. And it's got fried clam, fried oysters, fried fish, uh, fried alligator. Every kind of seafood or every kind of creature you can think of out of the water is on that platter fried. And it was pretty good what I ate. But half the time you'd pick the stuff up and you were eating it, you knew it was good, but sometimes you didn't know if it was alligator or clams or what it was. I don't even know if that restaurant is still there. I haven't been there in so many years. I don't even know if it's still there. But you order that one ordering of it, and it's just a huge platter. It looks like a platter that you put a Thanksgiving turkey on. It was so big. And they just put that right in the middle of the table, and everybody had their plates, and you'd start dipping into that big old platter, start eating. Even your French fries was on it. It'll be Monday in Israel in about an hour. Well, in Iran, they got a lot of homeless people. I came across that. Excuse me. I came across a couple of videos and stuff. And these homeless people were building homes for themselves. And part of them were living in tents, living in caves. And then they were building homes in front of the cave and everything. And now the agricultural government in Iran have sent out troops of bulldozers and stuff. And they're bulldozing down all their homes that they've just built. And some are still building. They're not even living in them yet. They're still living in the tent, and the house is halfway built, and they have to stand there and watch it being pushed over. They're nomads or whatever you call them. They're homeless people. But some of them even had permits to build the home on that property, and they still bulldozed it down. They said they were keeping the property for agricultural use. So they made a lot of people homeless again. I know, April, it's sad. There's so many homeless people everywhere. Every country, even our fair United States, has so many homeless people, it's ridiculous. Yeah, in Israel, I don't think anything's going on over there is good right now. They live on the side of the road there in Maui. Well, they won't let them do that here. We had a couple that used to wander around this subdivision. And back when the pool was there, we had a bathroom. We had bathrooms down at the pool, and we had showers. They'd get in over the fence at night to use the restroom, take showers, and they'd literally camp out under the canopy down there. And it's fenced in with a locked door, but they climb the fence and get in anyway. They don't do that anymore because they called them several times and told them they had to leave. And then I think they found some abandoned homes or some homes that were not being lived in out here, and they tried to take up residence in a few of them and got put out of those as well. And for a couple of years now, I haven't seen those people at all. Kevin's nephew's wife just got back from Bahrain. It's not good. Horses too. Yeah, some places overseas eat dogs, cats, and anything that crawls. My oldest brother, he went to Vietnam during the war. With Vietnam over there, he was in the service for 2 years in Vietnam, and he said they had a mama san that cooked for each barracks and did their laundry, cleaned the barracks, that type of thing. And he said, you got to the place where you didn't ask what you were eating, you just ate it. Because most of the time it was edible, it wasn't too bad to eat. Sometimes it was even pretty good. But you didn't want to know what you were putting in your mouth. If you knew, you probably wouldn't eat it. Because they ate anything that crawled. Hmm. Yeah, let's talk about something good. I'm all for that, Jana. Would starve if they didn't eat anything many. I know they have to because they don't have livestock and hogs and pigs and chickens and stuff like we do readily available to them. So they have to eat any of that stuff for protein or they wouldn't eat. Yeah, cheesecake is real good. I wish I had me a big old chunk of cheesecake right now. I know I've watched these videos, on some of the cooking channels where they show in like in Vietnam and different places they eat chocolate covered grasshoppers, chocolate covered, I don't know, all kind of ants, all kind of creepy crawlers. But I guess once they're fried and they're put in chocolate, you don't know there's a bug in there. You just eat the chocolate. Oh, raspberry cheesecake. Give me some. Cake of any kind would be good. House of Joni says, I'm craving coconut poke cake. Yeah, they eat fried worms too. I'm not eating them. No, thank you. They eat I can't remember what you call it, maggots, all kind of stuff. Ooh. Could you imagine having to depend on that kind of stuff to survive? But to them, it's normal that that's what they grew up knowing what to eat. So it's no more to eat that than it is for us to go get a hamburger. Too wiggly. Well, when they're fried, they get crunchy. They're not wiggly anymore, April. Oh, yes, a hot fudge sundae does sound good. COVID is coming around again. Oh, no. I know there was some kind of a virus that was going around, but it was not COVID. It's something else. I don't remember what they called it. Exactly, Connie. They have to survive on that kind of stuff. That's all they have for protein. And once you get used to eating it, you know how to prepare it. It's probably not too bad. Now, a fried worm is going to be crunchy like a potato chip. So you might not mind eating it as bad as you would if it was just alive and wiggly. Yeah, I've tasted rattlesnake before and and it's not bad. I don't think I'd want to have to depend on a regular diet of rattlesnake, but it's not bad. Vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup. Now, there you go. Fried bananas. Yep, that's be good too. Oh, there's Ann. Hi, Ann. She had her neck surgery on Friday. How you doing? Are you doing okay now? Yeah, we're dying to hear how everything goes. It must have went pretty good. I mean, you're in chat with us today. I was waiting to see Ann pop up again, see what her reply is. That's kind of like frog legs, you know. I wouldn't eat frog leg until my brother tricked me into eating one time. And it did taste kind of like chicken, but you could tell there was a little difference. It wasn't chicken, but it tastes real similar. And it wasn't bad, but I don't want any more. Oh no, not well. Doctor found all my discs were like sponges. Well, is there anything that they're going to be able to do to help, or is that just the way it's going to be, Anne? April says I got to get up and fold my laundry somehow. Yeah, I'm going to say just no to tripe. I don't think I want that. No, thank you. That's not going to be on my menu. I've been kind of lazy today too. It's been too hot to get out and do anything. My brothers loved them. They'd go frog gigging all the time and bring frog legs home for mom to cook. When they got older, they cooked them themselves. And they cooked them that one day and they ate what they wanted before I got home. And there was two left in a plate on the stove. And I come running in and my brother says, "Hey sis, you hungry?" I said, "Yeah, a little bit." He said, "Well, there's some fried chicken legs up there on the stove. Grab them." I went over there and looked and I said, "Well, they're kind of small. I've never seen chicken legs that small." He said, "Oh, they're from the Bantam roosters. They're the little chickens." So I grabbed one and I bit into it. And my brother kind of laughed a little and he says, "Sis, how's your chicken leg?" I said, "It's all right, I guess." And then he looked at me and said, "You know what you just ate?" I said, "Chicken leg." He said, "You just ate a frog leg." So he tricked me into eating it. Oh, you got to have another surgery in 2 weeks to have a metal plate put in the back of your neck. Oh, no, sorry. That does not sound like anything that's going to be fun. But if it helps, let's pray that it helps. Yeah, my heart goes out to you too, Ann. I hate to hear that. But let's just hope it helps and it doesn't cause any more problems. Yeah, I think everybody's going to be praying for you for this next surgery coming up. Great, Anne. You got a fantastic doctor this time. Well, good. But it's about time. So maybe they can take care of the problem and you can come out of this a lot better off. Oh, wow. Your neck sound makes popping sounds. Doesn't sound very good. Fry up some chicken necks. Well, you're very welcome, Anne. I just wish that the other surgeries had a went well and that would have taken care of the problem and you didn't need any more surgeries, but it's the new moon tonight, April. I didn't know that. Good time to set new intentions. Chicken necks is almost like eating rattlesnakes. Yeah. I mean, I eat chicken necks when I buy a whole chicken and I cut it up. I'll cook the chicken neck and I'll eat that too, but I'm not just going to go out and buy a whole package of chicken necks. I might buy a whole package of chicken wings and make me some hot wings or something. Fix hamburger without the meat. I don't know how you do that unless you just put the fixings on there without the hamburger. Goodness, y'all, we've been on here for 3 hours. I didn't realize that. Time flies when you're enjoying your company, doesn't it? Everything but the meat. Yeah. Put all the fixings on there and just leave off the patty, the meat patty. Yeah, I don't usually eat mushrooms because I'm somewhat allergic to them. I've eaten them once in a while, but I don't actually go out and buy mushrooms. Okay, Sheila, you have a good night. Enjoy your dinner. I know 3 hours goes by when you've got good company chatting with them. But I guess I should let all of you go and you got probably things to do, dinner to cook or somewhere to be. So I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all have a blessed day, the rest of it, a blessed night, blessed, safe week. I love each and every one of you, and I want to thank all of you from coming into the live chat today. You dozed off for a few. So each and every one of you, y'all have a great night. Pork roast in a crock pot. Now that sounds good. Everybody have a blessed week. We'll see you on the next live. Bye now.